Hi, everyone. Dr. G here, and we're starting our super fun week 2 of our research class. So, back in week 1, we looked at how we research a company that was going to make changes for some lease arrangements. This isn't so unusual a case, especially when we consider the issues that have been surrounding us since the pandemic began, where companies were no longer having people coming into the office to work. So all these buildings were going vacant, but still there was that obligation to make those lease payments. This week, we're going to be looking at researching from the tax point of view. Now, I'm going to be transparent with you. I don't do taxes. I don't know why, but I've never found that to be my place or area that I really wanted to specialize in. So I applaud everyone who is in the tax field. I do like tax research. I just don't like doing taxes. I do attend a monthly meeting here in Las Vegas of CPAs, and most of those that attend are working in some type of tax work, usually with small companies and businesses. And when I talk to them, they tell me about how much the tax industry has undergone so many changes, especially since the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Combine that with the PPP pandemic funds, and you've got quite the job ahead of you in order to guide your clients to the right decisions. So we have to be very thoughtful, methodical. You need to understand the business that your client is in. Some of my colleagues only work with certain types or industries of clients, such as small restaurants or just small businesses versus medium-sized businesses, because they feel like if they can really grab themselves within a specialized field within taxation, that they can provide better information for their clients than what we have right now. So in this case, you have an option of 2 different types of industries that you can be able to choose from. Either a case of what expenses are allowed and not allowed for somebody who has a lot of travel and entertainment businesses that they are performing, or you can look at tax depreciation limitations on the purchase of new manufacturing equipment for a chocolate company. The IRC codes are included in each of the cases that you need to focus in on. So when you are going into this case study, make sure that you read all of those IRC rulings that are provided to you and make some notes on them. Because when you come back into the memo itself that you're going to write, I want to be sure that you are not only citing those sources, but you're getting a really good understanding of those sources. So be sure you develop your memo using that 5-step process in the article that you're going to read called Optimize Your Firm's Tax Research Methodology, a practical guide to perfecting your tax research techniques and achieving sustainable tax return filing positions in the topic resources. Because what I want you to do is you're going to go through each one of those steps as part of your research process. So don't forget to really highlight and call out each of those steps, what those steps mean, and how you are applying those steps in the case study that you choose. Remember to use headers to ensure that you cover all the points in the memo. And it also ensures that I don't miss something, because when I'm reading multiple papers from students like you, after a while, sometimes my eyes get a little crossed. So just be sure that you're doing us both a favor. 1, you can confirm that you met all of the requirements, and 2, you ensure that I don't miss anything. Because just like working in the real world of accounting or any other field, really, if you are required to write a memo to your boss, your CEO, your CFO, whoever, you're going to put that together and you're going to send it to that person. After that, that person's not going to come back to you and say, you know, this is my decision. And somewhere within that memo, you embedded something that could have caused that decision to change. You need to be sure that when your CEO, CFO, boss is reading a memo from you, that it is very clear and thorough. That's why we have headers. Now, again, like most of the assignments and work in this class, there is a minimum word count, sometimes a minimum page count. So my guidance to you is to make sure that you have a well-articulated memo. A question for you. And sometimes I've done it on my own when I have had to write something that is very maybe intensive or has a lot of factual information in it. I will hand it off to a member of my family or a friend and say, can you read this for me? Because if anybody can read it and understand it, then it's well articulated. So just make sure. And another hint that I would give you is once you've done your paper, walk away from it for a couple of hours, then come back to it and read it out loud. I read things out loud all the time to the annoyance of my family. But what I will find is I will read a sentence out loud and I'll say, that doesn't make any sense, or that doesn't sound right, or that's a really long sentence. How can I rewrite that better? And it just reinforces to me the idea that we have to be really concise but clear in our work. Now, if you've watched the video or when you watch the video, do note that this assignment, I am requiring a minimum of 4 authoritative sources. Now, your IRC rulings are going to take up probably most of those authoritative sources, as well as the article you're going to read. So when you develop that 5-step process, be sure that you cite that as a source and include it as a reference. I hope you have a really great week, and don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have questions or concerns or issues that pop up that you want to discuss with me. I'm always here for you, okay? Take care, and I'll see you in the classroom.